Hi friends, this is Sridevi, Z Funds expert and certified wealth manager. Here comes the important part of the discussion on international mutual fund investment. That what should investor check before choosing an international fund? If international mutual fund investment reopen in future, investors should consider several factors to be checked. Let's try to explore them one by one. Firstly, understand your risk appetite. Investors should first understand how much risk they can take. International market can be volatile and different countries and markets can perform very differently. Secondly, align the fund with your financial goals. The fund should match your investment objective and time horizon. Do not invest simply because another investor or expert has invested in particular international fund or because the fund has delivered high returns recently. Thirdly, understand where the money is being invested. Investor should read the fund's fact sheet and understand which country or countries the fund invests in, which sector it focuses on, whether it is a broad market fund or a thematic fund, whether it invests in technology, innovation, energy, or another specific theme. For example, even within the US market, a technology fund and a broad market fund can have completely different portfolios. Therefore, investors should understand the fund's basic investment premise and strategy before investing. Fourthly, checks, check the expense ratio. International funds often involve multiple layers. An Indian asset manager may invest in an overseas fund or work with an international fund manager. This can lead to higher expenses. Therefore, investors should compare the expense ratios of similar funds before making an investment decision. Fifth factor could be check portfolio overlap. Investors should check whether their existing portfolio already has significant exposure to the same sector. For example, if an investor already owns an Indian IT fund, also invest in US technology fund, the overall portfolio could become excessively concentrated in technology. And finally, check the fund's history and size. Investors should also look at the fund's launch date, its historical performance, assets under management, the size of the fund houses available overseas, investment limit. Experts noted that a larger, older fund may have higher possibility of exhausting its available overseas investment headroom, while a newer fund with a similar strategy could potentially have more room under its applicable limits. However, this should not be treated as a standalone reason to choose a newer fund. Investors should evaluate the fund strategy, portfolio, cost, risk, and suitability for their financial goals. Therefore, investors should carefully evaluate these factors before selecting an international fund. Hence, experts believe the 7 billion industry worldwide may need to be reviewed, and they think that the limit should be increased so that more investors can access international diversification through professionally managed mutual funds. For ordinary investors, mutual funds remain one of the best routes for investing. If investor can buy foreign stocks through the LRS route, the limits for mutual funds should also be increased. For now, the key message for existing investor is clear. The temporary halt on the new investment in international mutual funds does not mean they need to panic or redeem their existing holdings. Investors should continue to evaluate their international exposure based on their financial goals, risk appetite, and overall asset allocation rather than reacting solely to the suspension of fresh inflows. Thank you for staying connected on my contents. Please book your free consultation today using the given link to invest smarter with expert recommended funds tailored to your financial goals. And stay tuned to my next piece of content for more enlightening insights into the different topics. Until then, take care. Bye.